Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing an activity called Nosey Balloons. But before we get started, you're going to need to go get an unblown up brand new balloon. I'll give you a few minutes and then we'll get this thing started. So throughout this activity, we're going to do multiple steps. We're going to start by observing and describing. We're then going to move down to explain, think, predict, and then conclude. So you'll want to follow along with each step so you make sure you answer all of these. Use your science brain so we can really check out what's going on around us and then use our senses to come up with a good conclusion. All right, now that you have a new balloon, we're going to go through the steps of this activity. The first step I want you to do is smell the balloon. What do you smell? Does it remind you of anything? In the space below, I want you to describe what you smell. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. All right, now that you've described what you smell, I want you to think for a moment. How far away can you get the balloon before you can't smell it anymore? Give it a test and see, and then describe how far away that is from your face. Now that we've done the think portion, we're going to do the predict portion of this activity. The following students are making statements about smelling the balloon. Tracy says, the smell traveled to my nose. Nancy says, for me to smell the balloon, my nose must touch the balloon. Sam says, for me to smell the balloon, the smell must touch my nose. Do you agree with any of these students? Do you agree with all of these students? Do you agree with none of these students? Use evidence to justify your answer. Okay, so now we're ready for step 4 in this activity. You're going to need a smelly liquid now and an eyedropper. If you don't have an eyedropper, you can use a straw. For my smelly liquid, again, I got pure lemon extract. If you're going to use a straw, not an eyedropper, you can just dip it into your smelly liquid, put your finger over the end, and then when you pull the straw out, some of that smelly liquid is going to be left in here. We're only going to need 2 drops, so it's not going to take very much. But what you're going to do is you're going to get your smelly liquid. You're going to get approximately 2 drops. It can be more, it can be less. So you've got some in there. And you're going to put 2 drops inside your balloon. So I've got 2 drops inside here, and after you do that, you're going to blow the balloon up and tie it off. You don't need to blow the balloon up all the way so it pops. You can blow it up until you feel comfortable and then tie it off. If you don't know how to tie a balloon off, you can have somebody in your house help you. So I've got my balloon blown up and I've tied it off. Inside of it, I've got my smelly liquid. So once you get that, let's go to answering the other steps of this problem. So now that I've blown my balloon up and I've got some smelly liquid in it, I want you to predict what's going to happen when you sniff the balloon. Write down your prediction now. Now that you've written down your prediction, I want you to set a timer and wait for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds has gone by, I want you to smell the balloon. Write down your observations. Okay, now that you've got those finished, let's move down to number 5. You could smell the balloon even from a short distance away. Sophia says, I can explain this by thinking that smell is made up of tiny particles. Bart says, I can explain this by thinking that the balloon is made up of tiny particles. Do you agree with Sophia or do you agree with Bart? Explain your answer this way. The picture on the final page of this lab shows a nose and a smelly balloon. Draw what must have happened to the smell inside the balloon so that your nose could detect it. If you think everything is made of particles, draw all the particles to explain how the smell got to your nose. All right, everybody, I hope you got your observations and your answers written down and you're ready to turn in this activity. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.